Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah.
And I'm your co-host, Bill. We're so glad you're here with us today.
If you've ever found yourself struggling to find the right words in English, or if you pause too long when speaking, just trying to translate from your native language, don't worry, you're not alone.
That's right. Today's episode is all about helping you break that habit and train your brain to think directly in English, so you can speak faster and more naturally.
We'll be sharing practical techniques, fun activities, and even doing a live practice session together to show you exactly how this works.
And the best part? You can start using these strategies today, even if you're just learning at home by yourself.
So grab your headphones, get comfortable, and let's dive into today's topic: how to think in English and speak faster. So, Bill, let's start with the big question. Why does it even matter if we think in English?
Great question, Sarah. You know, one of the biggest reasons learners struggle to speak fluently is because they're constantly translating from their native language to English in their head. That process takes time, and it slows everything down.
Exactly. And what usually happens? You try to say something, your brain starts translating, and by the time you're ready to speak, the conversation has already moved on.
Yeah, it's frustrating, right? But here's the thing. Native speakers don't think about grammar rules or translation. They just speak. And the key is, they're thinking in their own language the whole time. So if you want to speak English naturally, you have to start thinking in English too.
That's such an important point. And I've seen it with my students. Once they switch to thinking in English, their confidence and speed go way up. It's like a switch flips in the brain.
It really is. Think of it like this. If your brain is the driver and your thoughts are the GPS, then thinking in English is like driving on a straight road. But if you're translating everything first, that's like taking a bunch of U-turns and detours. You'll get there eventually, but it's way slower.
Ooh, I like that analogy. So for our listeners out there, if you find yourself translating every word before you speak, just know that's normal, but it's not the most efficient path to fluency.
Right. And today, we're going to help you learn how to skip that translation step completely. You'll start forming your thoughts directly in English. And when you do, you'll be amazed at how much faster and more fluent you sound.
And more natural, too, because when you think in English, your speech flows better. You're not stuck with word-for-word translations that sound strange or robotic.
Absolutely. And don't worry, it doesn't happen overnight. But with practice, it becomes your new normal.
So if you're listening and you've ever thought, why can't I speak fast like native speakers? This is your answer. It all starts in your mind.
Exactly. And in the next part, we'll break down some powerful strategies you can use to actually train your brain to think in English every day.
All right, so now that we know why thinking in English is so important, let's get into the how, Bill. What's the first step to training your brain to actually think in English?
Great question, Sarah. The first step is to start small. Don't try to think in full, perfect sentences at the beginning. Just start with single words. For example, instead of thinking kitab in your native language, train yourself to think book.
Exactly. And this is where labeling can help. Put little sticky notes on everyday items around your house, like mirror, door, window, fridge. Every time you see the item, say the word in English.
Yes, that's powerful. It's a visual cue, and it reinforces vocabulary. Another great method is to talk to yourself in English during the day. Like, if you're making tea, just say in your mind, "I'm boiling water now," or The tea is ready.
I love that. It turns daily life into an English learning environment, and it feels less like studying and more like just living in English.
Exactly. You're teaching your brain to use English as the default language. It's like reprogramming your mental operating system. And another simple trick is using flashcards, digital or physical, with no translations, just pictures and English words.
Yes, that forces your brain to connect directly to the English meaning without going through your native language.
Right. And once you're comfortable with words and short phrases, you can move to what I call mini inner dialogues. Just narrate your thoughts in your head. Like, I have to go to the store later. Or, I wonder what I'll eat for dinner.
That's such a great idea. You're not just practicing vocabulary, you're actually building fluency because you're thinking in full, natural thoughts.
And one more thing, keep a simple English diary. Every night, write 3 to 5 sentences about your day, only in English. Even simple stuff like, I woke up early today. I had eggs for breakfast. I went to work.
That's such a great tip. It helps you review the day and train your brain to recall everything in English. Plus, over time, you'll see how much you've improved.
Exactly. It's about consistent, low-pressure practice. And all of these little things, thinking in words, talking to yourself, labeling your world, they all add up to something big.
So true. Your brain is like a muscle. The more you use it in English, the more natural it becomes.
And eventually, English will just become part of your inner voice.
Which is the goal. All right, coming up next, we'll talk about how thinking in English actually helps you speak faster. Don't go anywhere. All right, Bill, now let's talk about the big benefit that everyone wants. Speaking faster. How does thinking in English actually help with that?
Well, Sarah, it's really simple. When you stop translating from your native language, your brain has a shorter path to speech. You skip a whole mental step, and that saves time.
Right. Translating takes effort. First, you think of what you want to say in your language. Then you try to find the English words. And that's when people freeze or hesitate.
Exactly. But when you train your brain to think directly in English, your response time is faster. You're not trying to solve a puzzle every time you speak. You're just expressing yourself.
Let's try a quick comparison to show this. I'll say a sentence in my native language, then I'll try to translate it into English. Ready?
Go for it.
Okay, in my language, I'd say, now I have to think. I want to drink tea. That took a few seconds.
Yeah, even that short sentence needed processing time. But if you were thinking in English already, you'd just go, I want to drink tea. Quick and natural.
Exactly, no delay. And it's not just about speed, it also helps your speech sound more fluent. You use more natural patterns because you're not stuck in your native grammar structure.
That's a great point. When we translate, we often bring over grammar that doesn't match English. That's when things sound robotic or awkward. But thinking in English helps you learn how English actually flows.
Yes, like using contractions. I'm going. Not, I am going. Every time. Or phrases like, you know what I mean? Instead of, do you understand what I am saying? Thinking in English lets you use those natural expressions more easily.
And the more naturally you speak, the more confident you feel. It becomes a positive cycle. Think faster, speak faster, feel better, repeat.
Exactly. So if you want to sound like a fluent speaker, you have to think like one too. And it all starts inside your head.
Coming up next, we're going to share simple daily exercises. you can use to make thinking in English part of your routine. Stick around.
All right, now it's time to get super practical. We've talked about the why and the how, but now let's give our listeners something they can actually start doing every day to build this habit of thinking in English.
Yes, because consistency is key. Just 5 or 10 minutes a day can make a huge difference. So let's dive into some simple, powerful techniques.
Okay, first one. Morning mindset, talk. As soon as you wake up, before you even get out of bed, try to describe what you're going to do today in English. Like, I'm going to take a shower, then I'll make breakfast. I have a meeting at 10. Just in your mind.
I love that. It sets the tone for the day. You're telling your brain, hey, we're using English today. Another one I like is mirror talk. Stand in front of the mirror and speak to yourself in English for 1 minute. It could be anything: how you're feeling, what your plans are, or even just practicing greetings.
Yes, it builds confidence too because you're seeing yourself speak, and no one's judging. It's just you and your reflection.
Another great one: inner narration. Throughout the day, describe what you're doing in your mind, like, I'm walking to the kitchen. I'm opening the fridge. I'm looking for some milk. Keep it simple and natural.
It turns your daily routine into a learning environment. I also love using voice notes. Open your phone's recorder and talk for 1 minute in English about any topic. Your day, your thoughts, something you learned. Then listen back and reflect.
That's such a good one. And it helps with pronunciation and speaking flow, too. You can even notice what words you get stuck on and look them up later.
Another fun technique? Think in questions. All day, ask yourself little questions in English like, what time is it? Where is my phone? Should I go outside or stay in? This keeps your mind sharp and active.
And here's one more I use. English time blocks. Choose a 15-minute block of time during your day where you only think and interact in English. For example, during lunch or your evening walk. No translations allowed.
Love that. It creates structure. And if you do that daily, your brain will start expecting that English mode and get better at switching.
Remember, everyone, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. These small habits build up over time and make a huge difference.
Absolutely. And you don't need to do all of them every day. Even picking 2 or 3 will help your brain start thinking in English more naturally.
Coming up next, we're going to do a Monday detail for Fee to Fee, live a mini practice session with all of you so you can follow along and start training your brain right now.
Okay, everyone. Now it's time for something fun, a real-time practice session. Bill and I are going to think out loud in English, just like we've been talking about. You can follow along and even say it with us.
Yeah, this will show you exactly how to start forming English thoughts. No grammar lessons, no pressure, just simple, everyday thinking. Ready, Sarah?
Let's do it. I'll go first. I'm waking up. It's early. I feel sleepy. I stretch. I look at my phone. Oh, it's 6:30 a.m. Time to get up. I go to the bathroom. I wash my face. I brush my teeth.
Nice. Super natural and simple. Okay, my turn. I'm in the kitchen. I open the fridge. Eggs or cereal? I feel hungry. I choose cereal. I pour the milk. I sit down. I check my phone while eating.
That's so real. just regular daily life, and that's what thinking in English should be. Let's try a mini conversation now, like we're meeting at a coffee shop. Ready?
All right. Hi, Sarah. How are you?
I'm good, Bill. Just a little tired. I didn't sleep much. What about you?
I'm doing well. I woke up early and went for a walk. The weather's nice today.
Yeah, it feels like spring. I needed this coffee so badly.
Same here. Nothing better than coffee and good company.
See? That whole thing was simple, but so useful. If you practice these little scenes in your mind or even out loud, your thinking speed and speaking fluency will grow fast.
And don't worry about mistakes. Just keep going. The more you think in English, the easier it becomes. That's how your brain learns, through repetition, not perfection.
Exactly. So try this today. Pick one routine, like brushing your teeth or making lunch, and think through it in English, step by step.
Coming up next, we'll talk about overcoming the mental blocks that can slow down your English thinking. Let's keep going.
Okay, so here's the truth. Everyone makes mistakes when learning a new language. It's totally normal. But Bill, why do so many learners feel afraid to speak?
Great question, Sarah. I think the fear comes from a few places. Fear of being judged, fear of sounding silly, or fear of making grammar mistakes. But here's the thing. Mistakes are proof that you're trying.
Absolutely. If you wait to speak until you're perfect, you'll never speak. No one learns a language without making hundreds, even thousands, of small mistakes along the way.
Exactly. Think of babies learning to speak. They mess up words all the time, but they keep going. And guess what? Everyone still understands them. And they get better with time.
Yes, and the same is true for English learners. The key is to keep speaking, even when it's not perfect. Your brain learns through usage, not silence.
Here's a simple mindset shift. Instead of being embarrassed by mistakes, get curious about them. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? That attitude turns fear into progress.
So true. And remember, native speakers won't laugh at you. In fact, most of them are impressed when someone is learning their language.
Right. They respect the effort. So if you make a mistake, laugh it off, learn from it, and move forward. Don't let fear stop your progress.
Coming up next, we'll wrap things up with final thoughts and give you a quick challenge to start thinking in English today. Stay with us. Okay, Bill, it's time to have some fun. Let's give our listeners a few quick and playful challenges. They can try to boost their thinking speed in English.
Yes, these are small, daily brain workouts, but for your English. All right, first challenge. The 5-second word game. Pick a topic like food or jobs and give yourself just 5 seconds to name as many English words as you can. Ready, Sarah?
Let's try it. Topic: things in a kitchen. Go, plate, spoon, fridge, oven, knife. Time's up.
Nice! Quick thinking. It really pushes your brain to respond without hesitation. Here's another 1-minute story. Set a timer and make up a super short story in English. It can be silly or serious. Just keep talking for 1 minute.
Oh, I love that. Even something like, yesterday I saw a cat on a skateboard. It rolled past me and everyone laughed. Then it jumped off and ran into a coffee shop. Fun and random, but it keeps your brain active.
Exactly. Another good one is describe what you see. Look around your room and describe 3 things out loud. Colors, shapes, use. Like, I see a black chair. It has metal legs. It's next to a brown desk. Quick, clear thinking.
Yes, and you can even do that while walking outside or scrolling your phone. One more challenge? Yes or no fast talk. Ask yourself 10 simple yes/no questions, but you have to answer each one in English immediately.
Ooh, try me.
Okay. Do you like coffee? Is it raining today? Did you sleep well? Are you hungry? Do you have a pet?
Yes. Number, yes. Number, yes. That's a fun speed drill.
Totally. These are simple, but they train your brain to think in English quickly and naturally. Try one or two each day and challenge a friend too.
All right, friends. Coming up, our final wrap-up with key takeaways and a quick challenge to get you thinking in English today.
All right, everyone. What a session today. Let's take a quick moment to recap what we covered.
First, we talked about why thinking in English matters. It's the secret to speaking fluently, naturally, and faster, just like native speakers.
Then we explored how to train your mind to think in English, using simple steps like inner narration, mirror talk, and choosing English-only time blocks.
We also looked at how thinking in English leads to faster speaking. Because when you don't translate in your head, your words come out smoothly and confidently.
Exactly, and we gave you a bunch of daily practice techniques, things you can start doing right now, even with just 5 minutes a day.
We did a live demonstration, walked through handling mistakes and fear, and even had some fun with speed thinking challenges. Good.
So here's our final message to you. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for progress. Keep thinking in English even when it feels messy. And most importantly, don't stop.
Your brain is amazing, and with daily practice, you can absolutely train it to think and speak in English with confidence.
Thanks for joining us today. If you found this episode helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who's learning English.
And we'd love to hear from you. What was your favorite part? Or which challenge will you try today?
Until next time, keep thinking in English and keep going. You've got this.
See you in the next episode of the English Learning Podcast. Kaderbidi.
Thanks so much for spending time with us today on the English Learning Podcast. We hope you're feeling inspired to start thinking in English and speaking faster.
Remember, every little step counts. Keep practicing, be patient with yourself, and enjoy the journey.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with your fellow English learners.
And don't forget to follow us on social media for more tips, challenges, and updates.
We'll be back soon with another episode to help you improve your English naturally and confidently.
Until then, keep thinking in English and keep speaking.